Hi, welcome to the Sunday Summits. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson with Enlightened World. If you're new to our summit, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome home. Today is a special day of celebrating the winter solstice. Our guests are Niobe Weaver, Camille de Salme, Sommer Joy Ramer, and Teri Angel. Teri will be leading us in a meditative experience a little later. We're going to share our intention right now for this evening. So please bring on our Facebook host, Deb Goldberg. Can't hear you, Deb. There we go.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here. And I am just getting ready with this intention. It is our intention today to embrace the divinity that we are by welcoming the winter solstice. It is a time for us to reflect, renew, and give birth to a much deeper awareness of our spirit once again. Each time we allow ourselves to go inward into the dark to find our true nature, it allows the light to prevail and bring forth clearing, a release of outdated beliefs and faulty thoughts that accumulate as we experience life. We bring forgiveness to every difficulty. It is with great hope and joy that a new you spring forth even more enveloped in the awareness that divine love is our foundation, one of being whole, holy, and one. Let us allow stillness to do its work of transmutation, bringing the old into our awareness so that newness can reveal itself and bring forth the joy that is within, filled with creativity and self-love. Today, we invite Spirit to bless us by holding our hands through this process of transformation, to keep us centered in our hearts as we shift out of the dark cocoon to chrysalis, to the light body of the butterfly. Amen.
Thank you, Deb. Today's a special day because in preparation for the winter solstice, we're introducing you to a healing modality that Archangel Raphael has been showcasing to Deb, Teri, and me this week. The purpose is to clear energy from within your body and through the chakra system. I know it's unusual to spend a few quick minutes to trial a healing modality, but that is what Archangel Raphael is asking of us. If you're interested in experiencing this, I ask you to take a quick minute to get comfortable and close your eyes. Archangel Raphael wants everyone to be able to use this modality. It isn't a secret. You don't need to have extensive training in how to use it. It cannot do any harm. So if you're ready, let's get started. If you want to join in, just close your eyes and let's feel the loving presence of Archangel Raphael, Divine Mother, and Archangel Michael here with us in the room. Let's take a minute and feel that energy. I see us here at the healing pool with Divine Mother, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Michael. And I see emerald green lights on the red rocks around the healing pool, and green candles floating in white lotus blossoms in the water lit. The symbol shared with us for the transmission of the healing energy is emerald green gemstones, about the size of a quarter. In your mind's eye, imagine a plate holding a heaping pile of these shiny, rich, emerald green stones. Run your hand over the gems to see what you can intuit from them. Can you see them in your mind's eye? Can you feel that each gem is holding healing energy? Do some of them give you a different temperature or color by the healing energy that is infused inside the gem? The colors we have experienced inside the gems so far are white, purple, pink, orange, and combinations of those, such as pink and purple together. Look at your pile of gems. Is there one gem on the pile that is calling your attention? Pick it up and hold it in one hand. See if you can sense what color is on the inside. Each one has its own intention and healing properties. The white ones clear stuck energy from inside your body. The orange ones clear stuck emotional energy that you've been holding on to. The pink ones clear grief. The purple ones clear energetic blockages from your relationship with the spiritual divinity. Feel the emerald green gem in your hand. What other color are you sensing? The way to invite the healing energy of the gem is by opening your mouth and imagining that you put the gem on your tongue. Archangel Raphael said that this symbolizes that you are welcoming this energy to enter your personal space and work throughout your body to shift and clear energy. If you're open to receiving this healing energy, choose a gem from the pile or use the one that is in your hand already. If you haven't already, open your mouth and see yourself putting the gem on your tongue. Now pay attention to what you are experiencing. Each gem reacts differently. The white ones have looked and felt like zigzag lasers that race through the body, moving and releasing energy. The pink, orange, and purple ones have looked like smoke bombs of color. Each one can take seconds to an hour to stop moving. If you go on with other activities, the healing will continue. But you will be aware of the most benefit if you stay cognizant of the movements and location of the healing. You might feel energized. You might feel grief or other emotions being triggered and released. You might see Christ or your version of how you experience God. You might not notice anything, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Settle in and see, feel, and notice what work your gem is doing on your behalf. We're going to take a minute or so and just feel into this. We've been asked to end each gem healing session with the blessing provided to us by Archangel Michael. May it be with the blessings of God, the universe, Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Raphael, that you, beloved of God, is anointed with love, light, and blessings to step further into your role of sacred being. This blessing is bestowed upon you such that you and all souls will be transformed through love and light. May every action taken and every word be said for the highest good of your growth, divine purpose, and for all involved. May you always seek guidance and counsel when you are unsure of your way. In love and light, amen. If you want to thank Archangels Raphael and Michael for sharing this healing and blessing with you, please do so. Now bring your attention to your feet. Feel your body supported by your chair. Feel your arms and your hands and your fingers. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Remember that you can come back to your pile of emerald green healing gems anytime you wish. If you're so inspired, you can do one gem after another, but it's recommended not to do two at the same time, as that then limits the effects. Always start by inviting in your divinity and follow your inner guidance on the use and frequency of the healing gems. Use of the healing gems does not replace receiving medical care. Thank you for exploring with us. If you experienced anything you'd like to share with us, please put your comments in the chat group. Now, ladies, I'm going to unmute you all. And Camille, I'm struggling unmuting you. There we go. Teri. Ladies, did you experience anything with that you would like to share? Camille, you're shaking your head yes. Go ahead, Camille. There we go.
Yeah, a couple of the gems, I was drawn to a couple of them, but asked which one was first. So I took the one that I understood to be first. And I knew even before I saw the pile of gems that it was blue and purple inside, side by side, blue and purple next to each other. And I put it on my tongue and it started to melt. Until it hit the blue purple, and there was a little, and then it took a little bit longer to melt very slowly, and I could feel it moving through my body. It was a soft flow through my body. And then something prickly hit inside each side of the blue and purple. There was something that looked like a burr, and it was sharp, and then I could feel it, something prickly under all of my skin throughout my body. And I had the sense that I was nodding my head during the healing because I was aware that things were going away. And I don't know specifically what the blue is, but the prickly was very clear. And as it kept going, it got sharper and sharper. And by the time I opened my eyes, it was almost all the way through the sharp points of the burr. So I assume the healing is still going.
Wow.
Thank you for that. It felt a relief that the things that are leaving, I don't know consciously what they are right now, but it felt a relief that they're going.
Beautiful. Thank you, Camille, for sharing that with us. The blue is new to us, so that's exciting. I'd like to learn more about that. Teri, want to share anything about what you experienced?
Mine was a pink gem this time. after the green, I initially felt the pink, and I felt it as like a soft powder. And it was like, I don't know, I can't remember what that is, that candy that just kind of burst in your mouth. And that's what it felt like. It was just like little starbursts going off in my mouth. And I just felt overwhelming love. And I saw in my mind's eye a pink rose. So that was just like coming forward to me in my vision, but just a beautiful experience of calmness, of love, of just unconditional love and acceptance. And that was what I got from mine today.
Sweet, sweet. Niobe or Sommer, do you want to share anything?
I'll go. It was first of all, it's a lovely healing practice, a lovely healing meditation. And as my offering of all these beautiful emerald gems were presented to me, they started to light up with, and then they had words associated with them. There was faith and devotion and confirmation and love and just words. They were speaking, in other words, they were popping up. Words were just emanating from them. And then my gem that I chose, it chose me actually. It glowed white at first. And then as I placed it in my mouth, I mean, then it revealed that mine was pink and lavender purple, pink and purple. And then you made the description of the pink being releasing grief and purple being, deepening connection with spirit. And so as I placed it, it made such perfect sense. Because as I placed it in my tongue, the message was, it's time to release the grief, Niobe. It's time to release the grief. Because there's been a lot of grief. There's been a great deal of loss. And and then it said, release the grief, so that this fullness of spirit that is working with me, connecting with me, inspiring me to teach, to sound, to channel, to heal. And the grief's in the way. The grief was getting in the way. And I felt it lifting, and it was an acceptance. And it was like, yes, I am very ready to release this grief. I've held it long enough. And it served its purpose, and it's time to release it and let it go. And I was feeling it lifting off and out of me. And it's just something that's going to be consistently seeding itself and coming in and clearing and doing its work. So very grateful to be here and to have experienced this blessing, this healing that we have today. So thank you, Archangel Raphael and Michael, and then of course Ruth and everyone here. Thank you.
Great, we're glad you're here. Sommer, do you have any thoughts? Yeah, let's unmute you. There we go.
Yeah, that was it was really rich. I feel like we were off somewhere for hours, actually, in some ways. Like and at the same time, which I thought maybe it would be distraction for me, but I'm also helping make the stream, just to be really honest, I'm helping the stream make it a wave, which is normally what I do, and I'm not always here. But I actually felt like I was able, like there was these really interesting, like deep like web space, like space between where I was like waiting for me to be able to click share, where it was like I was just there with you, Ruth, as you were guiding the experience, while I was also in some ways multitasking, which was I'm not really a multitasker, but I really received this deeply. Normally when I close my eyes and I feel really, really aligned, there's like a cave entry point once. And earlier today, when I was in a meditation, I was feeling about a sense of the word clarity was something that I like would have been working with today, as like I always kind of call in a word into the portals of my garden of joy every day. And clarity, and what I saw for the first time was that it no longer was one, it was three.
Interesting.
caves, like it opened up for the first time, which was really incredible. And when you were talking about the emeralds, I immediately, they weren't green, they were all different colors, and they were super sparkly, like all the colors of the, you know, beyond rainbow. It was just like lots of different colors. And I immediately was drawn to a pink one that had like a gold, the center, like a liquid gold in the middle. And I knew that was mine. And putting it on my tongue and in my mouth, I felt the, you know, often when I relate to the angelic realm, it's almost like it's right beyond my skin. But what I felt through that experience, that it brought the angel realm inside me. Like I just felt this kind of like, from my third eye, it was just like an inward like cleanse of like, that just kind of came through, that pink and gold just sort of absorbed in the interior of me, became like the angelic realm. Like it was just all inside me. And I also felt this just beautiful like calm peace, and whatever clarity is that like I kind of have entered this day, like I want clarity. Like it just felt, I felt like I was one with clarity in this really interesting visceral way. And yeah, I feel it's still like kind of like what Camille was saying, that it's still doing something, like that I feel it's still absorbing and kind of going into the different places. But I definitely felt that like it just kind of like cracked open into the gold. Like I could just feel it absorb and kind of turn into a beautiful liquid that was absolutely nourishing and very powerful. And just, I as well am really grateful to be here, and always with Enlightened World Network. I feel like there's something in these emeralds that I feel is part of the like the spirit of Enlightened World Network. Ruth and Deb and Teri, like all of you, what you bring to this, it's like there's something that's constantly cracking me open in the spirit of me that that I deeply appreciate.
Thanks, Sommer. Beautiful. So goosebumps, guys. That was beautiful. And what I am learning about these gems is that they're so individualized, right? Camille was needing some kind of, it was looking like a physical healing. I think that the blue is physical healing. And Sommer with the gold, they're just so individualized. It's just so divine, I think. So thank you for doing that. So we are exploring winter solstice as a time for renewal, and we've been given this opportunity already to experience some renewal. Teri's going to walk us through an experience in a few minutes, but want to hear from each of you. And let's start with Niobe. When I bring up the term winter, what does that bring for you?
Winter has always brought, I can go back to when I was very little. Winter has always brought back, ooh, it's cold. I get a new coat. I get to put my coat on. I get a new coat. I get new gloves. I get a new hat. And just because my childhood was in Oklahoma, and we get real winters. It gets below zero there. We get frost, we get snow. Every now and then we get a hoarfrost. If anybody knows what that is, it's a different type of frost. Hoar, hoarfrost. And it only happens at a certain way that the temperature and the humidity around, and it's a very different type of frost. It has a different pattern. Seeing the pattern of frost on the windows, and some of them look like feathers. Mm-hmm. So if winter was something that, winter was something I looked forward to. I loved fall because fall's in, my birthday is in September, so that was fall. And we get the 4 seasons in Oklahoma, very definitive 4 seasons in Oklahoma. So we have a beautiful fall with all the red and gold and orange leaves. And then we move into the cold of winter. And for quite about 7 years at that time, we were living out on 25 acres. We had 8 horses, and watching their winter coats come in, and the breath in the air. And there was something, just this quickening about the cold and the chill of winter. I loved it. Then came an ice storm, and ice storms are scary. But as I've continued to grow in my openness about my spirituality, connected with the different seasons of the earth. And just as, we come into our winter solstice, it's coming up, that darkest night of the year is so symbolic. It is of the light is returning. And as I stepped into the goddess religion and goddess energy, it is honoring about that at this point in the hemisphere, our northern hemisphere, the goddess is, the god is gone deep into the earth. The goddess is quiet in the earth, and the light is returning. She's birthing the light anew on winter solstice. She gives birth to the god. She gives birth to the child again. Just as in Christianity, just as in, there's different stories. The same story is around the world in different religions and different belief systems of the birth of the light, the birth of the God. And it's important to me. I think it's just something that was innately there for me when I was very little. I'm so very connected with the earth and her movements and her seasons and everything that changes about her. And it's about honoring that, because yes, everything dies, everything returns to the earth, just as I will pass on, I will die, and I will return to the earth one of these days. And then, but there's always that promise of rebirth, just as we know that everything was quiet. We've got the bear is in the den, and all the everything's pulled in, the seedlings and everything are frozen and quiet into the earth. But there's that promise. There's always that promise of renewal as the sun starts to come out longer and longer, and the days get longer, and the warmth starts to return, and those first few shoots start to come up through the earth. Everything is reborn. It's like there's a chant, hoof and horn, all that dies shall be reborn. Vine and grain, all that dies shall rise again. That is us. We are the cycles within ourselves birth and die off within our bodies. Everything within us is sacred. So winter to me is that sacred time of turning within myself. What is it within myself that is time, it's coming in to be reborn? Or what is it within myself that it's time to let it go? It's time to release it. It's dying off. I don't need to hold that's in the past. It's not present in here now. What is it that I need to release? Just like the leaves are gone, just like everything is gone to be reborn again. So it is just such a symbolic time for me and a fun time for me. Like I said, I remember as a child, but as an adult woman, as a representative of the goddess walking in female form, it is a time for me to go within and find the light within me, what is within me, what is that light within me to be reborn and come out and share anew. So winter is, I love all 4 seasons, but winter is very specifically go into that darkest night, to go into that internal place within myself that I find those jewels of wisdom of what has been brought together within that I need to bring up, and I need to step in, and I need to walk it, and I need to live it, and I need to be it and enjoy it. As like with Summer says in Garden of Joy, to walk with joy. So
Okay.
that's what winter is for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Teri, how about for you?
You know, we really don't get that where I live, and I've lived in Florida most of my life now. But growing up, it was like Niobe. You know, I could put on a coat and the gloves, and just I love cold. I do love the cold, but I love to snuggle. So winter is like that time when everything is crisp and fresh, and then you can just like snuggle into the heat or sit by a fireplace. You know, you don't really feel like sitting by a fireplace when it's 90 degrees outside. So to me, I love fireplaces. I love campfires. So it's all of that. It's all of that memory from my childhood of the change in the season, and that part that has been missing for me for years now. But I love wintertime. I love the whole energy of it. I love snow, not necessarily being out in it, but seeing that blanket of white that covers everything, and it just looks fresh and new. So yeah, I have lots of memories, fond memories of winter. And I know I'll be soon, next week, I will be up in the cold for the winter. So I am really looking forward to that, because it'll be a break for me from this 90-degree heat that we have outside. So yeah, that's it. Just the newness and freshness.
Okay. And let's see. Camille, let's unmute you. And there we go. What does winter bring up for you?
I'm going to stand up here for a moment. Well, I used to, as I've told you a couple of y'all before, I used to dread winter come. I used to dread the day shortening and dusk. I didn't like dusk at all. And after hearing Teri about a month ago, after we discussed talking what we're going to talk about today, in a prep session, after hearing Teri talk about her take on winter, and the solstice, my attitude has changed so much. And what I remembered is how much I love darkness. I love light and I crave light, but there's such a stillness and a beautiful sense of solitude and a calm feeling of groundedness in darkness. And what I've been enjoying with longer periods of darkness here is that we just get more of that. And so I've been digging into it and enjoying it instead of dreading and counting the days till we have our light. And so winter to me has changed. The sense of winter coming has changed for me. And I'm not a person who likes cold. So I'm glad I live in a moderate climate, but I do appreciate the snow, and I do appreciate the quietness of it, the sense of quietness of it, and how you can hear the quietness of it. That's what I like about winter. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Camille. And Summer, what does winter bring up for you?
Well, there's in the sharings, it feels like that kind of what it was like at a certain time and where you're at now. And in some ways I think my name is Summer. And so I love the summertime. I have to admit, it's my favorite season of the year. And it's also where I'm from, near Seattle, Washington. It's the shortest season. And I feel like winter is the longest one. And, I've gone through a change too of how I relate with it, but I also used to dread it a lot, and like it feels like it's the never ending season. And we get a lot of shades of gray, and it gets rainy and it's cold, and I do love my winter jacket and my winter hats, but honestly, I'd rather be on a beach and have it be sunny and not have a lot of clothes on is more my style, and be barefoot. So I think what I've found is I've gone through more of an awakening in my life. Like I suddenly I also will say I've been reflecting and doing a lot of writing about this past decade in these last couple of days, and kind of where I'm at. And in that sense, how Niobe is saying, what is it that we're letting go of, which seems to be like the ultimate question of so much this year with the moon cycles and everything, as well as this sense of, wow, what have I learned? What is the wisdom of these past 10 years? And so I feel like I'm kind of flashbacking to different points in my life. And one of the best winters that I ever had was 12/21/12. And Spirit guided me to lead this ceremonial gathering. And as so many of you maybe remember that time, it was also in some ways seen to be the end of the world. And in the, Mayan calendars, one of those times for me where I really felt connected to this global, like the world was sort of going through a transition. And I hadn't really, I was definitely teaching Nia, and I was really called to bringing many people together. And it was this very sacred ceremony night where I had friends that were down in Guatemala and they were in ceremony as well. And it felt really like it was one of those great transitions in my life of how I related with the winter. And so for me, I feel as I'm sort of transitioning into getting prepared for 12/21 right now, it's like there's something that's exciting and a ceremony that I feel more in a rhythm with about the winter, and that it is a time that I appreciate in the vast like openness and blossoming and the sun of the summer that I love. I recognize that there is a need for my soul and for the greater version of myself to actually really honor that time of going as inward as I possibly can, like the opposite of my favorite, the summer, and the extrovert part of me, to that real like introvert, and like almost like going into the earth, like actually there's something about that I have found since that time in 2012, 2011 was when I was really going through a deeper awakening unfolding within myself, that I've found a deep love for the dark and less fear. Also, when I was a little girl, I was afraid of the dark. I would think when the dark was near and I'd look out my windows that there was something scary going on looking at me. And I don't think I have released a lot of those fears, and I actually am much more appreciative of what the darkness is, and that there's something good and beautiful in the dark. So yeah, it's an important time. It really is an important time for the wholeness and the dynamic being, like our potential is. There's something quite important and scary, because it's sort of the unknown. Like there is sort of something about the dark that's like, oh, okay, what am I going to discover here? Woo, it's the unknown. But it's so good. Like I lean more into it with less tension. So yeah, that's what it means to me.
Thank you. Thanks all for that. I know for me, I really used to hate winter. I mean, to me, it was like walking into a period of death. And I would just go numb to nature for literally about 5 months. And I realized this year that's ridiculous, but I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to fix that. And through my meditation and through my work with the archangels and Divine Mother, they've been healing that for me. And a piece of that I have found is letting go of things that no longer serve me. And part of that is, what are the holiday traditions that we do? And now that my oldest is almost going off to college. And, there's the question, oh, well, do we keep the family tradition because that's what we've always done? Or do we shake it up and do what's calling from our own heart? And that's what we're doing this year. So letting go of things, decluttering things, shifting and changing and embracing the transformation. So that's what we're doing here in my household as a result of my work around winter. So Teri, are you at a point where you would lead us in this experience?
Certainly am. And all of this discussion that we just had from every one of you leads right into this, because we're thinking about that. What nature does is like almost like turn off. It's like the lakes freeze, the rivers freeze, and we as humans innately feel that sense of stillness, of that time to go in and be reflective. So that's what we're going to do right now in this experiment. If you choose to do it, if you don't participate, then please either do this later or re-listen to this so you'll know what to do. If you have a candle, then have that close by and go ahead and light it. And if you don't have one, you can just look at mine. Hopefully it will light here. My air conditioner is not helping. There we go. Okay, so if you can light a candle, if you have a pen and paper, you're going to need that as well. And again, if you're not at a place where you can do that, I understand. And I'll be doing the whole process for the collective. So hopefully my candle will stay lit.
Mine's staying lit and so is Camille's. So.
All right, good. So we do have candles going. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath in. And we're asking for you to participate in this exercise to release some of the energy that may no longer be serving you. We talked about that. We have things inside that, it's just not helping us spiritually. It's not helping our spiritual growth. And that's the whole purpose of this exercise today. I want to take a minute and call in Archangel Jophiel. Ruth, you mentioned decluttering. Archangel Jophiel is the angel that helps us declutter. Declutter not just what's on the outside of us, but also what's going on inside. What are maybe some beliefs, some traditions, some of the things that just don't have a place inside of us anymore. They don't fit in there anymore. So Archangel Jophiel is guiding this whole process, and she's going to help you as you write on your pen and paper. If you write with your pen on your paper, she will help bring to mind what it is that really needs to be brought forward. So focus on the candle flame for just a moment. And as you're focusing on that flame, envision the beautiful healing pool. You're sitting on the edge of that healing pool at the moment. Do the reflection. You have the fire going, the candle. You have the water. Water is such a beautiful conduit for energy. So let's sit on the side of that healing pool as we do this energy work. Reflect on the ups and downs of this closing year, the one that's coming to an end very soon. Give thanks for all the wonderful experiences that enriched your life and your soul. Acknowledge all the things you were proud of. Did you have accomplishments this year? I know many of us did. This will help you prepare for some of this deeper inner work that we're getting ready to do right now. So just take a second, think about something that was really, really great for you this year. Okay. Now think about the relationships, the situations, and the patterns that were not ideal, that maybe created heartbreak, sadness, anxiety, or turmoil. On that blank sheet of paper, write down what comes to mind about these experiences that maybe dropped you into fear, whether that showed up as anger, resentment, judgment, scarcity, anxiety, or any other form of negativity. As you're writing those words, allow yourself to fully feel anything that comes up, whatever it may be. It's okay. Just take a deep breath in. If you feel like crying, cry. This is a safe place to do your work. You're sitting at that healing pool, and Archangel Michael is surrounding us all. This may be difficult for some, but when we allow ourselves to face our deepest, darkest emotions, the very act of making them conscious is releasing. It's cathartic. It allows us to heal and move forward. I want you to focus now on where you are feeling that emotion in your body. Where is it showing up for you? Because we're going to pour some healing energy right into that place. So just be very clear about where that's coming up. Some people, it shows up in your stomach or in your abdomen. For some, in your heart. You might feel it there. You might feel physical pain as you think about these things that are in need of being released. Are you ready to release this darkness? After processing those emotions and figuring out where they're occurring inside of your body, let's reflect on the lesson that each difficulty brought. Because in every challenge, there is always an opportunity for growth. Some of you may not even be aware of the lesson yet, and that's okay. Just be open to the fact that there was one. Be willing to forgive everyone involved, including and especially yourself. And be willing to let go of any toxic and self-sabotaging patterns. Now, by a show of hands, and for you on Facebook, that means a like or a heart. Are you ready to let it go? We'll wait for you. I see some hearts out there on Facebook. If you're ready to let it go, and I see your hands, everybody raising your hands. Okay, this is very important. We're asking for you to commit to letting it go. All those things you wrote down, or if you didn't write, all those things you contemplated. And here's the key. Your yes is your commitment. You're not alone. We're right here. The angels are here. There's healers surrounding you. So as these questions are asked, I'm going to ask a series of questions. Consider if you're willing to commit. And if so, then type yes in the comments or raise your hand if you're with us on the Zoom. Before each yes, take a deep breath into that part of your body where you felt the emotion, wherever that might have been that it came up for you. Take a deep breath in and see that breath flowing right to that part where the emotion is being held the most. And as you type yes, release that breath along with the energy of that emotion. Okay, I see lots of yeses. Thank you on Facebook. So here we go. I'm going to ask the first question. Take a deep breath in as I ask it. And if you're willing to release, then your yes is your commitment to let it go. No matter what has happened in the past, are you now willing to release everything about it that brought fear and pain? I'll repeat that. No matter what has happened in the past, are you now willing to release everything about it that brought fear and pain? When you're ready, let that breath out and release the energy of that fear and pain. Your next question. No matter what has happened in the past, are you now willing to release the need to hold on to it? This is so important, and I'm going to repeat that. No matter what has happened in the past, are you now willing to release the need to hold on to it? I feel so much release happening. Let it go. Got chills. Okay, let's move to the next one. Are you now willing to surrender to God, to spirit, to the universe, all that no longer serves you for healing, cleansing, and purification? I'm going to repeat that so everyone hears it. Are you now willing to surrender to God, to spirit, to the universe, all that no longer serves you for healing, cleansing, and purification? Wonderful, wonderful commitment today. Okay, this next one is huge. Are you now willing to forgive and be forgiven by all involved? Are you now willing to forgive and be forgiven by all involved? And that includes you. Lots of emotions coming up, guys. Last question. Are you now willing to be a transformed you, coming from your enlightened perspective, and to move forward with wisdom, grace, strength, and love? Are you now willing to be a transformed you, coming from your enlightened perspective, and move forward with wisdom, grace, strength, and love? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so now I want you to step into the healing pool. Just walk right in there. And let's all together envision, if you can't do it physically, burning that piece of paper. And I have mine. I'm going to burn this, release it to the universe. If you can't safely do this, just envision doing it and then do it at a later time so that you can let go of all of that stuff. I'm releasing one for all of us. The fire takes it immediately to burn it. And let that burn and just see it traveling upward away. It's being transmuted into positive energy. It's out of us. It's gone. It's been released. You said yes. Yes is your commitment to fully let go of this, to fully bring it into the light, out of the darkness. It's important for you after you've done a healing ritual like that to cleanse. So that's why you are now in the healing pool. And as you're standing there in that healing pool, there's a waterfall. See that water rushing over you, just cleansing you outside and inside. It's a beautiful healing energy that happens there. You can also smudge your room where you are and let that energy of the whole space that you're in, just let it clear away. Okay, so we've released. Do you feel lighter? Type yes if you feel lighter right now, releasing all of that. I call it the crud that builds up inside and it just sits there. The energy's not flowing. And now you've released that so energy can flow. And anytime that you release, you clear up room for more. You clear up what you want to bring to you. As we think about winter and then moving forward out of that season into what's coming in the new year, what's coming in the new season that will come, we can manifest. We can bring something in because we have space now to manifest. So I want you to see in front of you this big bubble. It's huge and it can hold as much as you want it to hold. So I want you to start placing the things in it that you want to manifest. But first, ask yourself a question. Are these things that I want to manifest things that I need? Am I coming from a place of lack? Or am I manifesting what's for my best and highest good? So whatever it is that's going to help you in your spiritual growth, in your humanness, whatever you envision right now that you're calling to you, maybe it's peace on earth. That's so important to me. So I always put that in my bubble. Place all those things in that bubble that's in front of you. And as you put them in there, they're not going to leak back out. They're enclosed in the bubble. I want you to give that bubble a color, and it can be multiple colors if you want. Color it with some color that you just see. It just will pop into your head, and you're painting your bubble that color. And now what I want you to do is use your imagination again. And I want you to envision this bubble. And the bubble is traveling. It's starting to move upward. So as it floats upward, you see it going. You see it go higher, higher, higher. And it's just a tiny pinpoint now that you can see up above you. And then it starts coming back down. And as it starts coming, it gets bigger as you see it come into your vision. And it gets closer and closer. And when it gets just above you, it bursts open. And all that color that you painted it is covering you right now. It's coming over you with that beautiful energy that you put into it. All of those things that you're calling to you to manifest, they're all coming right to you. Hold up your hands and receive them. Catch them as they come down to where you are, and just let it come right into your energy field. Now take a deep breath. And let's all just give gratitude together to the angels. Thank you, Archangel Jophiel, for guiding this. Thank you, Michael, for holding that sacred space. Thank you to all the angels that constantly bring us love, bring us joy, bring us exactly what we need on this human journey. Thank you to all of you who went with this experience. And if you didn't participate in it at this time, I encourage you to go back and when you have a moment and really do this exercise. It's very freeing. It's very enlightening of what will come up for you. So I want to hear now what happened. I want to hear your experiences.
I'll go because I'm not muted. So I definitely saw everybody at the healing pool, which was beautiful. I had written down some things that had been difficult for me this year. And I absolutely felt with each of the questions like a layer of heaviness from that topic being removed.
Beautiful.
So I thank you for that. And I love my balloon or my bubble. And I love that all of that is within me and it's all part of me now. So it should be no surprise that it enters my world because it is just part of me now. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Summer.
That was absolutely amazing. Well, for one, I just want to say it got really hot in this room as that was all unfolding, especially the heat was really present as you were inviting us to get in touch with what it is that we want to let go of. And, you know, the stories and that part were absolutely powerful. And I actually found myself also bringing my gem back into my mouth in that, like it was actually amplifying the letting go part, as I really felt my pink gold gem in my mouth supporting that release more. And then the bubble piece was really fun, and what I actually felt a mix of what I'm calling in for this next year, and in combination, what I'm calling in for this whole decade. So what I was like putting in to the bubble were things about this next year. And, and in some way I was, when you said peace on earth with the sign and the work that I do, it's about peace on earth by 2030, which is, you know, the end of this next decade. So when you invited us to bring it back and it sort of popped over my head, it was like it's pink for sure, like a pink gold bubble, but inside it was like a confetti, like a huge party of peace on earth. Like I felt this like amazing, like the universe was celebrating, and it was all of this like amazing rainbowy, sparkly, kind of like the gems that I saw at the pool from the other healing that we did. It was like this massive peace on earth, but like celebrating, like we did it, everybody, humanity, angels, like we're having peace on earth. And then I also felt in that in the Garden of Joy, I felt like I was in the center of a 6-petaled beautiful flower, like this blossoming of the 6 petals of what I'm really calling in this next year, of what I see kind of direct parts of the Garden of Joy, my book, my membership program, my philanthropy supporting empowering young women. Like I saw the petals were just all completely blossomed, and they were no longer like the edges that I'm in the process of blossoming. And it was just this party, like this massive party with the universe. So Teri, I just adore you, and I love listening to you. I could just be in space being guided by you and the angels for a long time. So just thank you. That was really, really powerful.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Camille.
Oh, she's muted.
Here we go. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, Summer, thank you for sharing that about the celebration of peace on earth. um, being in actuality here.
Yes.
And that you're sharing it pulled me right in so that I can and others can help you actualize that. Thank you so much. I mean, not to say we're not already working toward that, but that to me made it, because at some point I went, oh yeah, that's doable. We can do that. And it was just as clear as the sky is blue or cloudy or whatever it is today. You know, it was just very clear. It's very doable. And what a beautiful feeling. So now I'm sharing about my reaction to Summer's experience. About the healing pool, I right away at the beginning, within about a minute or two, I turned around and put my legs into the water and could feel, immediately a flood up into me of relief and relaxation. And thank you for leading that, Teri. The question that especially struck me are you willing, I think it was the second one, are you willing to let go of the need to hang on to these things? And it made me think of something that struck me the other day. One of the people I listen to, Kyle C, says, one of the reasons we can be so resistant to letting go of things is we can see what we'll lose. We can't see what we'll gain. Well, sometimes it struck me yesterday, I was thinking about something that was shifting in me, and I knew that the loss was large, but I couldn't even see what I was losing. I just knew I was willing to lose it. And I had that sense again today, that with letting go of these things, whether they decide to leave or not, I'm not going to hang on to them. I'm opening the door and saying, I'm letting go of you all, I'm not hanging on. And I had this sense that by letting go of the need to hang on to them, I was going to lose a lot that I'm ready to lose. And I don't have to know what all I'm losing. I'm fascinated by it. I think it'll be interesting to see. And of course, I don't know what all I'll gain, but I know I will. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Niobe, did you want to share anything?
Is she frozen?
Frozen. She is frozen. Okay. So maybe she'll come back with us, but we've lost her for a minute there. So Teri, thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to go and we're going to check in with our friends over in Facebook. Deb, do we have some friends with us in Facebook now?
Yes, we have a lot of friends on Facebook and a lot of people participating in that beautiful meditation, Teri. There's so many comments in here. People talking about where they were feeling the meditation. Karen Palmer is on. She said that she felt it in her tummy, and thank you. And she needs to release the need to hold on to it. Gerald, and all of these people on here saying yes to what you had asked them to, say yes to each one of these questions about letting go. And Karen also says, yes, I absolutely surrender. Forgive and will be forgiven, to be everyone involved. And there is Heidi Sebastian on letting go of anger. Yes, choices are mine. Yes, can't control what abusive people do, only what I do. There's so much. There's a Connie Baxter Marlowe on. Wonderful to be here with you in this process. Thank you. People are loving the meditation, and they also love the gems, and other people saw blue too. Ruth, Ann saw blue also. So I think, and I was sensing there was blue there too. So I think that it's interesting watching it more for sure. People are going to watch the replay again. People are saying thank you. Melody Simmons is on. Thank you so much, Teri. Very enlightened. And Karen said the co-creating with the angels and all of you is incredibly beautiful process to experience with everyone. So peaceful and joyful. Peace on earth. People are saying about what you had said, Summer, about bringing peace on earth, feeling that. And somebody said, Summer, you look like an angel. But there's so many comments on here. So I would advise each of you to go on and look at what was going on. People seem very much involved today and being part of both meditations and had a really good response to that.
Nice. Thank you. And so before we go, I just want to remind folks to be with us next week, December 22nd. It is going to be the next Sunday summit is going to be at noon Mountain Time again. And this one is with Karen Palmer and Deb Goldberg. And this is Dancing with Spirit, connecting with our childlike wonder and joy. So looking forward to that. And before we leave, I would like to hear from each of you ladies. If folks want to follow you and know more about you and the work that you're doing, how can they do that? So Teri, why don't we start with you?
Yes, you can reach me at angelspeakers.com. And there's a contact page where you can just send me a message right through the website.
Okay, that's easy. And Summer?
I just want to make sure Niobe didn't get to share her reflection on that experience. So I just wanted to make sure she gets to share because I'm sure it was also amazing. But I don't know if it wants to be next or what. But
okay, well, why don't we have you while I'm unmuting her? Why don't you let us know how we can contact you or follow you?
Yes. So I'm in light of clarity. I see my work in a triad. So there's the global work, global transformation work of the Compassion Games. So you can check out compassiongames.org. And then there's SIGN, this great alliance that many of us here are part of. And that is the Synergized Impact Network Exchange, which is really on this whole, mission, vision, collectively through synergy experience, working towards achieving peace on earth by 2030. So that's SIGN, SINE.network. And then I also live and breathe in the Garden of Joy and work with individuals and groups through transformational experience of connecting to that sense of sovereignty. And that you can find right now a private Facebook group. I think Teri has the link, but if not, it's Stepping into the Garden of Joy. And that is a private Facebook group. And if you want to join, please answer just a few questions about your relationship with joy. They're very brief. And I just want to get to know you before you enter the group. So that's it.
Okay, great. Niobe, could you want to share with us what you experienced during that meditation and how we can contact and follow you?
Sure, absolutely. This had a very powerful effect on me. I think there was, by the way, Summer, thank you for acknowledging that I hadn't shared. I got bumped off for a moment and had to come back on. I was very surprised at what came up, but what came up has, it's literally been taking my breath away. It's causing asthma. I've known that it's got an emotional basis recently, but I didn't know what it was. And it revealed itself of what it is today. And so the processing of that was very powerful for me. Thank you, Teri, for that, and angels. And a pool, my healing pool that came in was actually a healing pool that I was in a conscious lucid dream years ago. And that pool came to me, and it was so soothing and wonderful to step back in and be floating in this healing pool that had been given to me many years ago. And it felt like what was brought up today was just kind of leaching out into the water. And I'm going to be going back to that pool today. I'm spending some time there. So, and my bubble was iridescent. My bubble was this beautiful iridescent bubble. And what I placed in it is what makes me happy and joyful. And it uses my breath. It asked me to breathe. So I sent that up, and then it just poured down on me. So it was a very beautiful and powerful experience today. I think I know people could see that. And how can you reach me? And are you wanting to come into your voice? Are you wanting to come into discovering to be all in your allness, in your fullness, to find your own sound, to hear what you're sounding out into the world, and how to really claim your power through your voice? You can find me at niobeweaver.com or Songlight Niobe Weaver on Facebook. And you can learn how to dance with yourself and sound it out in the car, sound it out to the woods, sound it to yourself, and allow your voice to become the healer. Your voice can heal you. So that is how you can find me. And again, I am always so grateful to be a part of this enlightened world. Ruth, Deb, Teri, Camille, it was so good to see you and meet you and work with you today. Always Sommer, it's always a delight, my blossom your soul sisters. So all of you ladies, thank you so very much for today.
Absolutely. And Camille, we want to hear from you. If folks are interested in you, how do they find you?
Thanks, Ruth, for the opportunity to let people know about that. My website is my name, CamilleDesalme.com. That's CamilleDesalme.com. And we'll be adding a page to it. I'm going to start working with people, generally small groups through Zoom, but I can also do one-on-one about how to have a conversation with cancer instead of running from it. Yes, I've been talking to Ruth about that, and Teri. And so that will be added to my page, but you can go ahead and ask me about that now. And I'm on Facebook. I have, it's just, I don't have a business page yet, but you can find me there too. So you can contact me through my website, CamilleDesalme.com, and I'd be happy to hear from you. And you can have conversations with other things going on with you too. It's just, right now I'm going to post it as a focus on cancer.
I love that. Love that, Camille. And I do hope that you might think about using some of those gems in your work with folks while they're having the conversation with cancer. So I'm just seeing that coming out. So ladies, I don't know how to thank you. This was absolutely beautiful. What an amazing celebration of winter solstice. So thank you to each and every one of you. So much love to all of you. And to those of you with us watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for being with us. You're part of our family, and we think the world of you. So thank you for being with us. So we'll let you go, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.